Folks, welcome to Dave's Kitchen, and today we're going to make some easy mushroom risotto, and I'm actually going to cook it the old-fashioned way. Cook it. Okay, I'm not putting it in a crock pot, instant pot, rice maker, that kind of stuff. You know, I'm going to cook it from scratch, and it's going to take about 20 minutes. And you're going to see the result. Let's get started. Okay, folks, first thing I'm going to do is cook the mushrooms. And I got a mixture of crimini and button mushrooms here. I mean, you can use all crimini. You can use, don't use all button mushrooms. But if that's all you got, go ahead. And I know it seems like a lot. Because you got to add about, I don't know, about 2 cups. And do it over medium-high heat and cook the mushrooms down for about, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. And once they're cooked down, then we can get on with the rest of it. Okay? So just let these cook down, and we'll get on with the second part. Okay, folks, they're already cooking down. See? Like, you don't need much. You know, it's about 3-4 minutes on medium-high heat, and they're going to cook down. Like about another minute to go. And we're going to get on with the next part. Now, seasoning all this stuff, folks, like I watched some videos, and seasoning is supposed to complement the flavor of whatever you're cooking. Okay? It's not supposed to hide it. So, you know, blasting everything with like 8, 10, 12 seasonings, that's not cooking. That's not, you know, that's all you're going to do is disguise the flavor of whatever you're cooking. Okay? So these are like, I watched some videos, and like, what's the point of talking about grass-fed, no hormones, the best meat that you can get, and then in another pan or a saucepan, take a packet of pre-mixed seasoning from the grocery store, add some hot water to it, mix it around, and put it in and let it simmer. What's the point of that? Make your own seasoning. Okay, cooking is what you make of it, and that's not cooking. That's just throwing stuff together and putting a lid on it and walking away. Okay, these are done. So you got to take like the mushrooms and the juice and just put it back in the bowl that you had it. Okay, so once you put it back in the bowl, put it back on, turn it down to medium heat, and you're going to add like a tablespoon of olive oil, which is, that's about a tablespoon. And once you add that, then you're going to add, now these are shallots. Okay, so if you don't have shallots, don't worry about it. The only difference is shallots are a little bit more delicate. And if you want to add some red onions, which that's what I would do, it gives a little bit more of a sharper taste, and gives it a little bit more of a bite. This kind of lends its flavor, but it's not overpowering. It's like, you know, like a little bit sweeter. Okay, so on top of that, once you get them in there, it's not going to take long. It's only going to take a couple minutes when you turn it down to medium heat. Now, here's the kicker. This is not called for or anything, but I'm going to add it anyways. I'm going to add like a half of a jalapeno. Okay, so I'm not going to touch it because I've already washed my hands numerous times, and it's going to be like, if I touch anywhere, it's going to burn. And not only that, I'm going to add, on top of that, I had this sitting in some hot water for like about 30 minutes. And it's a chili arbol. Now, you don't have to add that. I am, but you don't have to. But add the jalapeno. It's just going to give it an extra kick. Now, you know, those who are worried about, oh my God, I can't take the spices and all that kind of stuff. Well, when you roast any type of pepper or onion or whatever, it gets sweeter. Okay? So a lot of the heat, once you have it in here, and you mix it in with the shallots or onions or whatever you're putting in here, it's going to, you know, kind of like diminish the heat. Okay? So, after that, now you might have to add just a tad bit more olive oil. I added like, after I dumped all these mushrooms out, I added a tablespoon. So you might have to add a bit more, because now we're going to put in the rice. And it's 1.5 cups, and it's arborio rice, which is kind of like it's like a short grain rice. And you gotta mix it all in, okay? And you gotta mix it in and keep it going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add just a tad bit more olive oil, probably about a teaspoon. And all you gotta do is mix it around with the onions and the peppers until it kind of gets like a golden brown color, which won't take that long. It's only going to take like a minute or so. Like I said, we're really cooking here. You know, we're not just throwing stuff in a pot with a bunch of whacking in a bunch of seasonings and just putting a lid on and walking away. I mean, you know what? If you want mushroom risotto in like 10 minutes, then just throw that in with some onions and put in a can of cream of mushroom soup and a can of water. Same thing. Right. Okay? So, mix all this stuff around. And I've got about 6 cups of chicken broth. Now, you got to add that in slowly. But if you're making a risotto with something other than like mushrooms, you can, if you want to do a vegetable one, add in vegetable stock. Or if you want to do a seafood one with shrimp, shrimp don't take that long to cook, but you got to put them in towards the end. Add some seafood stock. And you can get them in, you know, like those Tetra Pak things, you know, at the grocery store. You know, the broth or whatever it is. And you can make it with that. Same process, but you can make it with that. Start adding in the chicken stock. And actually, before that, what you're going to do is, well, I forgot about this because some people don't like it, but the proper way to do it This is about, I don't know, half, maybe a third of a cup white wine. And you're going to add it in until this is all absorbed. Okay, so once it's all absorbed, which won't take long, just like a minute or two, once it's all absorbed, because this is going to add like some extra depth and flavor to it. So once you add that in and it gets all absorbed, okay, like you can turn it down to like medium low. I wouldn't go over medium, but turn it down to medium low. Now, what you got to do is start adding the chicken broth. Here that's about, I don't know, it's about half a cup at a time. So add a half a cup at a time. And you know what? Unfortunately, you got to stand here and keep stirring, because otherwise it's going to stick to the bottom. And you know what, guys? Like, we're really cooking here. You know, we're not throwing stuff in some kind of pot or something and letting it, you know, just like simmer, and like, we're not in a race here. Now, I know when you come home during the week and you want to make this, you know what? It's not going to take 10 minutes. Okay, just keep adding the chicken broth, by the way. It's not going to take 10 minutes. Okay, it's going to take about 20 minutes. Thereabouts. Okay, and all you got to do is keep adding and stirring. Because if you don't stir with this kind of stuff, A, it's not going to get creamy. B, it's going to stick to the bottom. And C, it's going to taste like garbage. Okay? So, that's the thing. Okay? So, keep pouring the chicken broth in and stirring it around. Okay, I'm still at it, guys. So, I don't know, you know, someone told me one time, now, I've been doing this only because I probably was brainwashed by them. But anyways, keep stirring in the same direction instead of one way and back the other way. Because apparently, according to old school ways, when you stir it one way and you go back, it reverses what you just did. Which, I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, so if you keep stirring it around one way, I'm sure you're safe. You know, I don't know about the backwards, like this and then this and all that kind of stuff. I have no clue. But anyways, all I know is you got to keep stirring this stuff, because you don't want it to stick. You don't want it to clump or anything else. Now, this rice, it's flavorful. It tastes great. You can use it for a side. You can use it for a main. You can use it for whatever you want to use it for. If you want to do something like shrimp, well, then you got to kind of adjust. And that's probably going to be one of the other ones I do. Because shrimp doesn't take that long to cook. So, best thing is probably just saute the shrimp for a couple minutes. And then pop it in here. But you can't use the same stock. Probably got to use like... well, you can use like, and they come in those Tetra packs, so you can use like seafood stock, or you can use a combination of seafood stock and water, or seafood stock and those little bottles you get, it says clam juice on them. You can get them in the grocery store. Same thing. Okay? So as long as you got like 6 cups and it's tasted, and as long as it's not like overpowering and too strong, because sometimes it can be, just thin it out. And thin it out with water. Okay, so I'm going to keep putting this stuff in here, guys. And it's not going to take much longer. But I'm going to keep putting this stuff in. And now, you can have this as a side to like, you know, pork, probably lamb, roast chicken, fried chicken even. You know, most of those meats you can have it as a side if you want. Or, like I said, you can have it as a main. And if you're going to have it as a main, just make sure you got like, well, enough mushrooms in this case. Or, you know, shrimp. Or if you want to use vegetables, well, use vegetable stock. Because they got them in those Tetra Pak things too. Or make your own, you know, because like they have those little cans of bouillon and you just boil like 1 or 2 cups of water, add, you know, a rounded teaspoon or tablespoon, whatever it says, to the thing, and same difference. Only thing is it's a little bit saltier. So you got to watch it with the salt. Okay, so I wouldn't add any salt until probably the end. You know, just taste it, and if it seems like it's a little bit bland, add a little bit of salt. You know, about a ½ teaspoon at a time. You know, pepper, you don't have to worry about it. You can add pepper all day long. No problem. Okay, but the rest of it, just make sure if that's what you're using. You know, I know they got those Tetra Paks, 30% less salt. Whatever. You know what? Just get the regular ones. Okay? Because 30% less salt, if you heat it on the side like you have to do with this, you got to add a lot of salt. And I know they say 30% less salt, but you got to add a lot of salt. And I don't want to do that. And I'm sure some of you don't either. And you know what? I mean, this is... It's not that bad calorie-wise until the end. And I'm going to show you what we do towards the end. That's going to add the calories on. But other than that, you know, I mean, it's carbs and everything else. So, I mean, it's not like you're going to lose weight on it. You know, if that's what you're concerned about. You know, because carbs, you know, it's going to put on some weight. And... you know, well, it's like myself. Like, you know, I'm thin everywhere else except for my stomach. That's only because I got to eat all this stuff. You know, like I don't have anyone, I got to give it to the neighbors. I don't have anyone here that's going to help me eat it. So, anyways, just keep all that stuff in mind. The risotto is basically done. All the liquid is added. And you got to keep stirring it only because, you know, I mean, you can leave it for like 30 seconds to a minute. But the reason you keep stirring it is because when the rice starts to absorb, it gets thicker and heavier. Excuse me. And it'll sink to the bottom and stick. Okay, so you got to keep stirring it. Now, the next thing, add back in the mushrooms and all their juice. Okay, so when you did the mushrooms, there was some juice that came out of there. Okay, so add it back in. And you know what? Stir it all in. Let it combine. Temperature is going to drop, but let it come back up to temp. And then we're going to add the rest of this. And like I said, like we're cooking here, guys. We're not putting stuff in like an Instant Pot or crock pot or, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, this is like, I don't know, want to call it the old-fashioned way? Because I don't get, like, you know, I saw some videos where people just, you know, they just pound the seasonings in. Onion, garlic, like 8-10 seasonings in. All you're going to do is mask the taste of whatever you're trying to cook. You know, like chicken. Chicken will accept seasoning, but holy mackerel. You know, like garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, paprika, this, that, this, that, this, that. Like 10-12 seasonings. You don't need that much. Especially store-bought stuff. You know, it's all like pre-prepared, and it's all, you know, it's got all these preservatives and salts and all that kind of stuff in. Just make your own stuff. Okay, so this is like, see, nice and creamy. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to add in like, I know, 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to add that in. You know, I mean, this isn't the dieter's meal, you know, but still, it's going to be creamy. We're going to add that in. And then we're going to add in about 1/3 of a cup. Well, you can add Parmesan. I'm adding pecorino. There you go. In. Okay, and mix it all together. Mix it, blend it well. And then we're going to add in probably about 2 tablespoons of chives. You know, I mean, if you don't have chives, just don't worry about it. You know what? Add in some green onion. Same thing. Same thing. Okay? And mix it well. Mix it all together. Let it cook for like about a minute. You know, let it come to like a simmer. I've got it over a medium-low heat. You know, I've got like, well, I got it on number 4. So I guess that's medium-low. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to let this simmer. And we're going to plate it. And that's it. Done. Okay, guys, I got some here that I'm going to eat. Turn it off. Okay, folks, here we go. I forgot to tell you, just add about, I don't know, about a ½ teaspoon of salt and some cracked black pepper at the end and mix it in. Okay, other than that, It's supposed to be, if you're worried about it being like, oh my God, it's too creamy and all that kind of stuff, it's supposed to be like that. So, once you're done with the mushrooms, mixing all of parmesan or pecorino, in this case pecorino, oh, bite from the peppers, creaminess, and the jalapeno and the bite from the peppers, that'll cut through the creaminess. So this is real cooking, guys. This is not throwing a bunch of slop in the Instant Pot or crock pot or whatever it is. Nothing against them, because they're good for certain things. But, you know, this is like cooking the right way, the old school way. And you know what? It tastes amazing. And why would you want to just load it down with tons of spices just to make it taste better? Okay? Spices are supposed to enhance, okay, not mask the taste of whatever you're doing, whether it be meat or rice or risotto, whatever it is. So, you know what? Keep that in mind. Make sure you got all the spices. That's fine. But you don't need to use tons of them to mask all the flavors. So, other than that, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you later. Take care. Stay safe.